Cristiano Ronaldo has won almost everything football can offer. 5 Ballon d'Or awards. 5 Champions League titles. League titles in England, Spain, and Italy. More international goals than any player in the history of football. And this summer, at 41 years old, he is about to do something no man has ever done before him. Play in a 6th World Cup. But records are not why he is going. He is going because there is one trophy, one single piece of silverware, that has eluded him through 23 years of a career that has eluded almost nothing else. The World Cup. And he has already told the world this is his last chance to get it. Cristiano Ronaldo was born in Madeira, Portugal in 1985, in a household that had almost nothing. His mother once said she considered ending her pregnancy because the family could not afford another child. His father struggled with alcoholism for most of Ronaldo's childhood. The family lived in a small government-subsidized home with his 3 older siblings sharing a single room. Football was not a luxury for Ronaldo, it was the only thing the family had. At 10 years old, he was already drawing attention from Sporting Clube de Portugal, the academy that has produced more Portuguese internationals than any other institution in the country's history. By 12, he had left his family on Madeira and moved alone to the mainland to live at the academy. 12 years old, alone, in a new city, carrying the weight of being the family's one chance at something better. He has spoken since about how hard that separation was, about crying himself to sleep some nights, about calling home and being told by his mother that there was no money to bring him back even if he wanted to come. He stayed. And by 2002, Sir Alex Ferguson had seen enough. Manchester United signed an 18-year-old winger from Sporting for £12 million. In 2009 for a then world record transfer fee, Ronaldo was no longer a promising young winger. He was already one of the 2 best players on the planet. What happened at Real Madrid over the following 9 years is, by any statistical measure, one of the greatest individual eras in the history of the sport. 4 Champions League titles, a La Liga title, the club's all-time leading goalscorer, a record that took him just a few seasons to claim at a club that had been producing legendary forwards for a century. The numbers eventually stopped being numbers and started being something closer to physics. 450 goals in 438 appearances for Real Madrid, 4 European Golden Shoes, 4 more Ballon d'Or awards. He won constantly, almost everywhere he went. Juventus, Manchester United again, Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. Wherever Ronaldo played, trophies and goals followed in a quantity that no other player in the sport's history has matched. He currently sits on 954 career goals. No player has ever reached 1,000. He may do it this summer. And yet, through every one of those years, every one of those trophies, every one of those individual records, there has been a single gap. The World Cup. Ronaldo's first World Cup came in 2006 in Germany, as a 21-year-old already being talked about as the heir to Portugal's golden generation. Portugal reached the semi-finals, their best finish since 1966. Ronaldo was excellent. Portugal lost to France. He went home with a 4th-place medal and a reputation as a player who would surely lead his country to glory eventually. 2010 in South Africa brought a quieter tournament. Portugal exited in the round of 16 to Spain, the eventual champions. Ronaldo, 25 years old and already a Real Madrid superstar, managed only a single goal in the entire tournament. 2014 in Brazil was supposed to be different. Ronaldo arrived as the best player in the world, fresh off his 2nd Ballon d'Or. Portugal were eliminated in the group stage. Ronaldo, hampered by injury for much of the tournament, looked nothing like the player who had terrorized Europe all season. 2018 in Russia gave the world perhaps his greatest individual World Cup performance. A hat-trick against Spain in the opening match that remains one of the most replayed individual displays in tournament history. But Portugal could not progress past the round of 16, eliminated by Uruguay. 2022 in Qatar should have been his last chance, and it ended in heartbreak and controversy. Dropped to the bench for the round of 16 match against Switzerland. Portugal won 6-1 without him. He came on as a substitute, visibly emotional in what many assumed was the final World Cup appearance of his career. Portugal were eliminated in the quarterfinals by Morocco. Ronaldo walked off that pitch in tears, 37 years old, 5 World Cups, 0 trophies, and everyone assumed no more chances left. Then, on the other side of the world in the same tournament, something happened that changed the entire conversation around Ronaldo's career forever. Lionel Messi lifted the World Cup. For nearly 2 decades, the debate between football's 2 greatest players of the modern era had circled the same unresolved argument. Goals, trophies, individual brilliance. Both men had won almost everything domestically and individually. But the one prize that genuinely separates great players from the conversation about the greatest of all time had remained out of reach for both of them. Until Messi got it. When the final whistle blew in Qatar and Messi lifted the World Cup, the argument that had defined a generation of football fandom did not end. It changed shape entirely. Because for the first time in the history of their rivalry, Ronaldo found himself chasing something his greatest rival already had. And Ronaldo himself has been honest about what that means to him. Speaking publicly in the years since, he has acknowledged that watching Messi complete his career with the one trophy still missing from his own added a weight to his final years that simply was not there before. This is not just about a trophy anymore. It is about history's verdict. So here he is, 41 years old, 6 World Cups, a feat no man has ever achieved, the oldest outfield player at the tournament, closing in on 1,000 career goals, a milestone no player has ever reached. And he has already said it himself. Definitely yes, Ronaldo told CNN when asked whether this will be his final World Cup, because I will be 41 years old. This is it, there will not be another chance after this one. The question that decides everything is simple: can Portugal actually win it? The answer this time is more credible than at almost any point in Ronaldo's previous 5 attempts. Portugal arrive as the reigning UEFA Nations League champions, having beaten Spain in the final. They are ranked 5th in the world. They qualified by winning their group with a 9-1 demolition of Armenia on the final matchday. This is not a Portugal side limping into the tournament hopping for the best. Roberto Martinez, the Spanish coach who guided Belgium to a World Cup semifinal in 2018, has built a squad that is no longer dependent on Ronaldo to function. Bruno Fernandes runs the midfield. Vitinha controls the tempo from deep, fresh off a sensational season at Paris Saint-Germain. Nuno Mendes and João Neves add further PSG quality. Rafael Leo provides pace and unpredictability in behind Ronaldo. This is, statistically, one of the deepest squads at the entire tournament. 7 Premier League players, 4 Paris Saint-Germain players, a genuine blend of experience and emerging quality that gives Portugal a more rounded, less one-dimensional look than any previous Ronaldo-led campaign. There is one more layer to this squad that matters beyond the football. Diogo Jota, the Liverpool forward who died in July 2025, has been given a symbolic place in the squad as an honorary +1. The players will wear tribute wristbands throughout the tournament. Whatever happens this summer, Portugal carry his memory with them. Portugal have been drawn into Group K alongside the Democratic Republic of Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. If you have seen the story of how Uzbekistan reached their first ever World Cup, you already know they will not be an easy opponent for anyone, regardless of the name on the shirt across from them. But on paper, Group K should be a comfortable path for a Portugal side this talented. The real test, as it always is in tournament football, will come in the knockout rounds against opponents with the quality to match what Portugal can offer. Every sprint matters more now. Every tournament feels different when you know it is the last one. Every time the anthem plays before kickoff this summer, it will carry a little more weight than it ever has before, for a player who has given Portugal 2 decades of his career chasing the one thing that has never come. Because football eventually takes everyone. It took Peel's knees, it took Maradona's discipline. It is slowly taking Ronaldo's prime years, even as his body continues to defy almost everything we understand about athletic aging. Maybe Ronaldo finally lifts the World Cup this summer. Maybe he does not. But one thing is certain. When this World Cup begins, millions of people around the world will not just be watching Portugal. They will be watching the final chapter of one of the greatest stories football has ever produced. This has been Moments in Football.